Thank you for tuning in to tonight's game. Your game is coming up next. But here's some information from the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
6 easy ways to become an MVP. And by MVP, we mean most valuable parent. Like all of us, the parents of high school athletes tend to protect their children from adversity, or they overly involve themselves by advocating for their success. But when they do, they're negating the value of participating in high school sports. Among other lessons, high school sports teach teenagers to take nothing for granted, how to overcome obstacles, and that an extraordinary commitment of time and effort is required in order to reach goals and experience achievement. High school sports also encourage independence and self-sufficiency, attributes that are needed to be successful in life. It's natural for parents to love their children, and it's important to support them in as many ways as possible. With this in mind, here are 6 easy ways that you can be the MVP of your child's high school team. Number 1, attend your children's games as often as possible. Nothing demonstrates interest and involvement more than being there. And be sure to invite Grandma and Grandpa to come along with you. Number 2, cheer for all the kids on the team, not just your own. Here's a test for you. Do you know all of the players on your child's team? Could you say hello to them by their first name? Embracing the entire team is a great way to show that your interest is sincere. Number 3, be a resource for your child's team. Does a teammate need help with transportation? Is the team trying to raise money for new uniforms? Is someone needed to organize a pizza party before the tournament starts? Maybe you can help. Number 4, try not to criticize the coach or the officials in front of your child. Hey, you're human, and there may be times when you need to vent, but be careful when and to whom you do it. Criticizing the coaching staff undermines its credibility and tends to put your child in the middle. And games are seldom won or lost because of an official's call. Remember, coaches and officials are objective. Most parents are not. Empower your child to talk with the coach about concerns. Everybody wants more playing time, and understandably so. But encourage your children to have that conversation with their coaches instead of you doing it for them. Giving teenagers the confidence and conviction to speak up for themselves is one of the greatest benefits of participating in high school sports. Number 6, focus on the life lessons your children are learning, not on win-loss records or how many points they're scoring. According to the NC2A, only about 2% of all high school athletes win a sports scholarship, and the average value of it is less than $11,000. But every child will benefit from the lessons they've learned as a result of participating in high school sports for the rest of their lives. It's difficult being the parent of a high school athlete. There's far more emotion and social pressure involved than is ideal. But if you follow these 6 pointers, not only will your children love and respect you, but so will their teammates and coaches. And you might even be named MVP. Thank you for your support of high school athletics in Indiana. Stay tuned now. The Indiana SRN game is next. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
And a pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of high school football here on high school volleyball, here on Indiana SRN. Jimmy Cook, the ever-grinding high school sports enthusiast, alongside me, the coach himself, Keith Myers. Coach, we've got another thrilling Circle City Conference matchup between the host Roncalli Rebels, 2-3 on the season, taking on the Covenant Christian Warriors, 1-4 on the year. For Covenant Christian, a little bit of a struggle this past weekend.
Wow.
And for the Rebels, they're trying to find their groove right now, sitting just below 500.
Both teams are trying to find some consistency. As you mentioned, Roncalli 2-3. When's the last time we thought a Roncalli Rebel team was 2-3? But a Covenant Christian team 1-4. Brooke Binky is saying we need to find some consistency. They put up a freshman to get maybe a possibility to get more offense in the game. That could be the key. Both of these teams, though, both of these schools and coaches said, you know what, Coach, though, this is a big conference win. We need a win. We need to stay ahead of everybody else, and this is a big win. So it doesn't matter the records, throw it out. Last year this was a good game, went 4 games. Roncalli won the conference championship on this game last year, was a little bit later. So it should be fun. Looking forward to see what the atmosphere is. You got Grandma and Grandpa everywhere tonight, which is really kind of that you honored. I think there was over 100 grandparents that were honored tonight. That's pretty cool for Roncalli.
Yep, a Grandparents' Day theme setting up here at the Woodshed. That happened in between the JV game and the varsity game this evening. Coach mentioned anytime you have a high-powered conference matchup like this, you can pretty much toss those records right in the garbage can. But when you do look at the records on paper, at least before the game starts, you know that the coaches are still looking at those records, and specifically with Covenant Christian. 1-4, not the way they wanted to start, but at the same time, they've got to feel like they've learned something from those matchups.
Yeah, I think one of the things that she's learned is that they need to play more consistent. They get to 22 and then they go brain dead, so to speak. They don't know how to finish. A lot of that is youth, and a lot of that is just the senior leadership that needs to step up. It's still early, though. 1-4, you got, 35 more games to play or so. Tournaments are really kind of cool. Roncalli plays tonight. They play Thursday night. Then they play in a big invitational. For Covenant Christian, they play tonight. They play Thursday night. They play next week. We have their game next week. So it should be a lot of fun. And, this is a great week of volleyball for us because we have this game here, which is our rival. Then we have Heritage Buff, and we'll talk a little bit about that tonight too. It's a fun night for us. And thank you for everybody that supported us. Last week we reached over 1,800 people, and that's a blessing. And we're doing something right. It's kind of cool to have girls on volleyball.
Now you mentioned Heritage Christian there. This is about to take place, another Circle City Conference matchup. Both these teams, we mentioned both below 500 in different aspects, but it is an early year. Is it everybody playing catch-up with Heritage Christian right now? Is it the mindset in both these huddles?
I think so because, you throw Guerin in that mix and you throw Chittard in that mix. You go 5-0, you win the conference.
Right.
For Heritage Christian, they have a tough match tonight. They play Indianapolis-Scecina. That's a tough match. So I think this conference is very consistent and it's very strong. And on a given night, anybody can beat anybody else. Heritage might be a tad better than everybody else, but who knows?
We're going to step out briefly here on our pregame show. When we come back, we'll go over some more thoughts about these two teams and then take a look at some of Coach Myers' keys to the game. All that and much more upcoming after this. You're watching high school volleyball on Indiana SRN.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? By traveling the world? Or by staying perfectly still? For 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
Welcome back inside the woodshed on the campus of Roncalli High School. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach Keith Myers as Circle City Conference action just a few minutes from getting underway between the Covenant Christian Warriors and the Roncalli Rebels. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach Keith Myers. Coach, we've talked a lot about both these two teams, but I do have to get sentimental here for a second. The girls on the floor, they probably don't care about this, but myself as a Roncalli alum, I'm very happy that the SRN is here for one reason only. This is probably going to be one of the last regional webcasts that take place in this building before they change over to the new gym next year.
They call this
later this year.
Yeah, they call this the woodshed, and there's a reason why they call it woodshed, because everybody gets into woodshed and gets kind of beat up in this place. I can remember the first time I was here as a basketball official. I can remember here our first broadcast as a basketball game, and then we did a couple of wrestling events in this gym. There's history in this gym. Walking down this hallway to see the where they keep all the storage stuff. There's just old memories, and Coach Locke has been very kind to us since day one. Indiana SRN came on board. There's no competition. Rob Brown today gave us accolades. Hey, listen to the guys, and it's just there's no one thing that set this apart. It's just a neat place. The new gym, a little bit different. It'd be sentimental leaving this gym tonight.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of strong feelings when the new gym does take place. I won't waste time on the broadcast. We want it to be about the kids as much as possible for my favorite moments from this gym. But if we have time, maybe throughout the broadcast, we can share a couple stories throughout that. But back on the action of these two teams, we already talked about how it is a Circle City Conference matchup. Coach, you've had an opportunity to talk to both coaches. You've seen one of these teams already live and in person in the Covenant Christian Warriors. Back to Covenant Christian for a second. They had a tough loss against Brebeuf the last time we saw them. This is a Rebel team that is just as good, just as talented. What do the Warriors need to do to get back into the win column?
I think what Coach is trying to do is confident, to give them confidence and let them know you just got to play through everything. As she said earlier today, we can bring the ball back if it's hit hard. We have a problem attacking the net or getting the dink or around the campfire. That's where they're having a hard time bringing that back. A lot of that is communication. She said yesterday all they worked on was on communication skills, and that is off, looking at each other and say, hey, I got it, or just nodding and let you know where that ball is. And then you got to read the court. Roncalli is very good at bringing the ball all the way back. You have to play it all the way up, meaning that they're going to serve real deep. So you got to be consistent. So your setter's got to be in the right place. Then you got to make sure you cover the back door. There's so much you have to do for this Roncalli Rebel. The height advantage is to Roncalli, so they'll be stronger strength-wise. But Covenant Christian, I think, is up for it because, again, this is a conference game, and they want this win.
On the conference as a whole and really the season as a whole, you talked about how early it is. At what point in time, if you're either one of these two teams, are you starting to hit that panic button?
I think week 3 is especially if you haven't won a game for a while. If you're 1-7, all of a sudden now you go, okay, what do we got to do? What do I do to mix this up? And then you go to your AD and say, hey, quit making my schedule so tough.
Right.
I coached this for a long time, and I was the athletic director, so I got to pick my schedule. So I knew what my teams were going to be like. These ladies don't have that luxury. And if you play in this tough conference, you want that competition because the cool thing about Indiana, sectional start, it's a new season, so the tough schedule you made might get you ready for the class that you got ready to play for.
That is the uniqueness of the state in volleyball here in Indiana. And for this matchup tonight, like we mentioned, the Roncalli Rebels 2-3 on the years, trying to get back to 500. Meanwhile, the Covenant Christian Warriors sit at 1-4 after struggling this past weekend, trying to find their footing in the conference. It is still very early, a long season left to go. Both these teams looking to make an impact and climb the Circle City Conference standings. We're going to step out for the final time here on the pregame show. When we come back, we will have our lineups as well as coaches' keys to the game. All that and much more upcoming after this. You're watching high school volleyball on Indiana SRN.
In today's fast-moving business world, effectively marketing your company takes hard work, creativity, and the right team. With over 40 years of experience, PIP has been enabling companies large and small to find success in achieving their business objectives. We understand the challenges our clients face, That's why we have a variety of print solutions suited to fit your every need. Whatever your printing request may be, from a quick turnaround on a company brochure for an upcoming trade show, a direct mail piece that needs to be designed, printed, and mailed, to complex marketing projects, PIP is sure to have the right print solution for you. Nothing grabs attention like a well-crafted sign. It can transform virtually any surface into an eye-catching experience, boosting your marketing appeal. From banners, posters, floor graphics, and window decals, to wayfinding and yard signs. We not only help with sign design and getting it installed, we also integrate them into your overall marketing strategy, designed to help you win. PIP also provides best-in-class integrated marketing solutions to help you make the most out of your next campaign. Our approach to marketing ensures that your strategy is seamlessly executed across all media, online and offline, so your business always looks its best. At PIP, we understand it takes a team to achieve business growth, and that's why we're here to help. Get to know PIP and let us make your world a better place.
Welcome back to the broadcast of Indiana SRN. It's a game night volleyball right here on Indiana SRN. It's time to look at the rosters. Let's look at Covenant Christian first, and here's Jimmy.
With the Covenant Christian Warriors, they'll start with, in numerical order, the freshman, and on the outside, Bella Dart, number 1. Number 2, the sophomore, Katie Nodder, a defensive specialist. Another defensive specialist, number 4, the senior, Haley Cooper. The setter, the sophomore, Elizabeth Schaefer, number 12. Number 14, the junior, Gianna Catano, the defensive specialist. On the outside, Sanaya Borum, the senior, number 15. Lexi Bright in the middle, a senior at 5'8", number 16. Avery Fowler, a senior in the middle at 5'7", number 18. Number 19, a senior and a defensive specialist, Hannah Killian. On the outside, Kara Whitney, a senior, number 20. Also a setter, and on the right side, Lily Koltoff, a sophomore, number 23. And then number 8, a little out of order here, late add, Danny Newport on the outside. She's a freshman.
Yeah, Newport was added today to help establish that front line, Jimmy, so hopefully that works for them. Covenant Christian is 1-4 in the year. As we're looking at Roncalli, and here's the Roncalli Rebels.
For the Rebels, Grace Ermer, number 1, a senior defensive specialist. Elizabeth Origer, a senior and a setter, number 2. Number 3, Abby Johnson, a senior on the right side. Molly Roeder, a defensive specialist, number 6, a senior. Sydney Geibel, a senior on the outside, number 7. Miranda Wilson, a junior on the outside as well, number 8. Olivia Hill, a sophomore in the middle, number 10. Faith Birch, a setter, a freshman, number 11. Olivia Murphy on the outside, a sophomore, number 13. Emma Halter, a defensive specialist, number 19, a sophomore. Sarah Luzon, a sophomore in the middle, number 20. Erica Eads in the middle, a sophomore, number 21. And Sammy Moylan, a junior in the middle, number 9. Stay with us. We're going to step out for the final time. When we come back, we'll have Keith's Keys to the Game and our first serve as Roncalli takes on Covenant Christian on Indiana SRN.
I think of my philosophy of education, and Jan and I, as homeschooling parents, we really recognized it was our responsibility to educate our children. And so when we thought of basically delegating our children's education to someone else, we prayed about it, and we thought, would we delegate our children's education to someone who didn't believe anything close to what we believe? And we basically said, no, we can't do that. We have to entrust and delegate that role in our children's lives to someone that believes consistently with what we believe. And being able to do that at Covenant was a big step for Jan and I, because having 7 kids and really wanting to see them walk with the Lord and wanting to see them engage their faith for the rest of their life, we wanted that key time in their life to be with someone that we could trust, and that's how we came to Covenant.
Well, we also had some of our children wanted to pursue some higher degrees, Kyle in engineering and Hannah in nursing, Luke in accounting, and we felt that Covenant was a college preparatory school, and just some of the scholarships that they got, so it was definitely prepared them well.
I think the first thing, besides the effort that Covenant has to take the children through 4 years of Bible study, I think it's the way they engage them to try and apply their biblical studies to a worldview and try and take what they're reading and understanding in Scripture and then look at their life situation, the things that are going on in life, their relationships with their classmates, and then apply what they're learning. And I think that's a really unique aspect to how they go about teaching them. And I think building relationships around that gives a depth to that relationship. I mean, you're talking about the thing that's most important in your life. You know, your faith in God, what you believe about Jesus Christ. And when you're discussing those things with people that really genuinely love you and want to see you come to the acknowledgement of the truth, I think it really adds a dynamic opportunity. Besides getting a Christ-centered education, the most important thing that we saw was the relationship development that took place between our children and the teachers.
I think all of our kids have been impacted by at least 2 teachers that they really connected with, and they really drew them out. They developed relationships. It went beyond the classroom.
And that was a real goal of the school. It wasn't just part of the curriculum. It was the heartbeat of the school was to develop relationships with the students, and some of those relationships are still intact. You know, and quite frankly, that's the investment that you're making. You're making an investment in the opportunity for your young person to actually have time to engage a teacher, and the teacher to have time to do that. I'm Dan Eganoff, and this is my wife Jan, and a Christ-centered education is the reason Covenant was a fit for us.
Welcome back on the campus of Roncalli High School. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach, Keith Myers. High school volleyball set to get underway between the Roncalli Rebels hosting the Covenant Christian Warriors. Rebels will serve first. It'll be Grace Ermer, the senior and defensive specialist, set to put it in play. Covenant Christian looks to respond right in front of the net. Returned by the Rebels. Work it back over to Covenant Christian. Nice overhand shot. Now a set with a spike opportunity. Covenant Christian looking to counter. Far left side. Bump by Halter. Front of the net. Point to the Rebels. Good active rally to start for both teams, and the Rebels come out on top for the first point.
Yeah, if you're Covenant Christian, you wanted to start off with a good foot. What a great rally. Just got caught with the net in the net.
Ermer serves it. It's received that time by Killian. Overhand shot right in the net by Covenant Christian. Katie Nodder, number 22, threw that one in the net. That last point by the Rebels. Make it 3-0 early by Roncalli.
We want to thank you for watching the game on Indiana SRN. If you'd like to tweet us during the game, at Indiana SRN, we'll shout you out.
Overhand serve by Ermer. And again, action at the net leads to a Rebel point. They've come out firing on all cylinders, up 4-0 here early.
Yeah, Schaefer tried to dink it over pretty quickly, just didn't realize where she was over the net. One of the keys here.
Ermer's service continues.
Nice.
Received by Covenant Christian. Bump on the sideline. Overhand shot hit high off the ceiling, and the Rebels aren't going to be able to save it.
How about that off the woodshed? Pretty hard there. Almost made the play.
That's a good ode to the history of this gym. Not going to be an issue at the new facility, but one of the staples here at the low ceiling of the Roncalli woodshed. Rebels look to respond after they've been scored on for the first time, 4-1. Bump over to the net. Rebels looking for some set and spike action, but it's received that time by Nodder. They'll actually say
net violation again
by the Covenant Christian Warriors. Rebels lead 5-1. Sammy Moylan. Make that Emma Halter, rather, with the overhand. Rebels look to get it over the net, and that one thrown into the net by Miranda Wilson, the junior. So 5-2, Covenant Christian still within striking distance, and service will belong to the Warriors.
Looks like a couple of nerves here early, Jimmy. Both teams playing with a little bit of caution.
Trying to feel each other out, maybe some jitters with the quick pace of all the freshman and JV games. Another violation this time against the Warriors, so the Rebels will have service back, leading 6-2.
If you talked about the JV team, JV Roncalli won 2-0, and the C team won 2-0. So Roncalli's looking at the sweep.
Faith Birch, her service with the overhand. Received by the Warriors. Nodder. Overhand. Received by Halter. Action at the net. Spike opportunity. Point for the Rebels.
Right idea, just can't get it inbounds. If you're Missy Marsh right now, you're pretty happy with your start.
Beautiful start. Leading by 5, the largest they've led so far. Overhand serve by Birch. Received by the Warriors. Action to Dart. Now a set and spike with authority down the line by Abby Johnson, the senior.
You know, we talked about closing the back door where you got to take the step over. That was not even close to where Covenant Christian needed to be, but that was right on the line. That's a great shot.
Beautiful, beautiful play for the Rebels. Action at the net. Say point to Roncalli.
You got to wait till that ball is on your side. You can't be on the other side. That's going to be a violation every single time.
Officials quick to it, and the service will continue for Birch. Another point for the Rebels, an ace. And a timeout quickly taken by Covenant Christian. 10-2 the score. Will stay here as the Rebels lead it by 8. I want to remind you that Covenant Christian High School is a Christ-centered learning community. Covenant Christian High School is dedicated to providing an excellent Christ-centered education, equipping students for a life of scholarship, leadership, and service. Our students are trained to think critically and ask questions about life, from music to mathematics, from physics to foreign language. As students grow and leave our school, they prepare to contribute to our world. CCHS desires that student athletes possess Christ-like characteristics and are able to express them openly through the medium of 18 varsity sports. At Covenant, relationship is at the heart of what we do. From teachers to students to staff and parents, we count each one as a member of our family. We invite you to experience Covenant at one of our open houses, meet our faculty, tour our campus, discover what a challenging and engaging Christ-centered school has in store for your student. Their first open house of the year is November 12th at 7 p.m. Be our guest for a day. Interested students are invited to shadow a Covenant student. Upcoming shadow days are September 17th and October 4th. For more information, call them at 317-390-0202 or visit them at covenantchristian.org/visit. Jimmy Cook, the coach, Keith Myers, Roncalli High School, our site for this Circle City Conference battle.
During that timeout, what Coach Brooke was trying to tell them is you just got to communicate. We talked about that was one of the keys, and they're not communicating very well at all yet. And just enforce that you got to play straight up and you got to trust your teammate.
And Bella Dart out of that timeout into the net. So overall for Covenant Christian, you hope that it's not a body language lag early in this one. A lot of things about this building, but whether it's football on campus, whether it's volleyball or basketball here in the woodshed, you can't come into a Roncalli game sleepwalking.
No. Because you'll just walk right out.
Exactly. Service by the Rebels and another violation by the Warriors.
Schaefer, those are unforced turnovers, Jimmy. You gotta
at least
you gotta
5
know where the
so
ball.
far.
Yeah, you gotta know where the ball is.
Molly Roeder continues her service. The defensive specialist, a senior. Awkward initial receive by the Warriors. Now it's up to the Rebels.
Nice, good block.
Overhand
good block
shot.
Again.
It's tipped and blocked again. Halter there to set it backwards. Spike across and a nice dig that time by Roeder. 4 hits by the Rebels.
That time Covenant Christian did a nice job of blocking the ball, then taking the step back to go defend again. Nice job. 12-4 Roncalli.
They stuck with the play. No give up there by the Warriors. See they respond on this one. Trailing by 8. Spike blocked at the net. And it'll lead to a point on the ricochet off the block.
That's hard to do. You got the block, and then all of a sudden he's coming right back to you. It's really hard to regroup there.
Programming note, Olivia Murphy, originally listed as 13 in some programs, 15 on the court for the Rebels in blue. Their lead is 9. Spike opportunity. Rebels bump it up to Johnson. Her spike is blocked. Set, Birch, over to Murphy, and it drops down. Tip for the point. Rebels lead by 10. They're largest of the ball game. Here in game number 1 in this best-of-5 set. Action to Hill. Received by Koltoff. Last chance to get it over. Catano does just that. Soft shot. Point for the Rebels.
Yeah, that's a carry. You got to put that. You got to use your hand. You can't use your open hand. Close fist, bring it back up. That's not going to be called a carry. Open hand, that's going to be a call to carry.
15-4, Roncalli in the home stretch of this first game. Nodder overhand in the net. Point Rebels.
If you tried everything right now. Nothing's working for you. You just got to keep working. You got to keep persevering.
Covenant Christian trying to fight through the game. Get their mentality right for game 2. But it's all Rebels right now. I know this isn't the start that Coach Banky wanted, but it's where the Warriors are at right now.
I want to say hi to Sean Crawl, who is listening tonight. Sally, who's listening tonight. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Elizabeth, thank you very much for watching the game live on Indiana SRN.
Always. Tell your friends. Get more over. Nodder the service after the spike by the Rebels went wide, and that one's in the net. Just like that, 2 straight points for Covenant.
See, that builds your confidence, right?
Get you moving the right way. Nodder overhand. Bumped. Twice by the Rebels. Halter overhand shot. Received by the Warriors. Spike opportunity long.
Bourne had the right idea, just couldn't get it done.
The Rebels now lead by 12. Elizabeth Origer. Her serve received by the Warriors. Spike at the net. Ricocheted off the block. Point for the Warriors.
18-7. You know, you're feeling kind of confident here now that, what is that, 3 in a row, 4 in a row?
3 of the last 4. Service for Sanaya Borum. Action at the net and dropped in, stuck behind the Rebel defense.
There's the Newport. That's Dana Newport, the freshman, just got moved up from JV.
Making a play, maybe a spark plug for this Warriors offense. They're back within 10. Overhand service. Halter receives. Action of the net. Spike opportunity by Murphy. Out.
Nice little rally here by Covenant Christian. 18-9.
Now, at best for Covenant Christian, you're hanging around in this game. At worst, you're continuing your momentum forward. 4 hits, point to Covenant Christian. They've scored 5 of the last 6.
When do you call the timeout? You know, that's, when you're the cool thing is Misty's making them play through it.
Yep. So 2 different philosophies. Do you call the timeout to reset momentum, or do you let your players learn and try to play through? Murphy, spike. Is it down? It is.
Wow. Good call.
Walk the left side of that tightrope on the sideline and ends that furious rally by Covenant. Rebel lead back to 9. Back to Grace Ermer, who started the match with service. That one a low opportunity, but it's an ace. Nodder could not get low enough for it. Beautiful serve.
That ball dived very quickly. She hits the ball on the top of the ball. Watch the serve here. She's hitting the ball right on top of the ball. That will dive, make it go quicker down.
Perfect form and nice play to catch the defense napping by Danny Newport. The freshman once again getting into the score box. Brings them back within 9.
You know, as a freshman, you don't know any better, so you're just playing through it. And,
right.
And it works.
Making the most of the opportunity. Long serve. Rebels at the net. Blocked initially. Got to get it over. And indeed, they do. Spike returned and saved by Ermer. Set shot. Nodder diving for it. Action to the Warriors. Halter. They send over to Birch, who spikes it home for the point.
You got to like Nodder the first time. Just couldn't come back and fill the slot there, but you know, there's a little bit of life here for Covenant Christian. They're down 21-11, but they're showing a little bit more improvement.
Service to Emma Halter, the sophomore. Overhand shot, Nodder receives. Bumped once, back to Nodder, gets it over the net. The work, spike chance. Wilson puts it down.
Found the line.
Been so good at that throughout this game. Wilson and Johnson.
I like the line judge there. It was very precise. He knew what to make the call. He didn't question it. Good job.
Halter, overhand service. Received by the Warriors. Cross-court spike drops. Nice shot that time by Bella Dark. Another freshman on this young Covenant Christian team.
5 seniors. Everybody else is underclassmen. They got to be pretty happy if you're Coach Binky.
Plenty of youth movements in the wings for the Warriors. Service to Newport. Halter receives it. Then she gets it back, goes overhand with it. Violation against the Rebels. It'll go. Service continued for Covenant Christian, and a point for Covenant as they're back within 9. Rebels 3 points away from closing game 1, but Covenant Christian keeping the door open. Spike blocked and scored.
Nice job by the front end.
Avery Fowler there to make the play. Covenant back within 8.
Flowers looking like, I don't know what I did, Coach, but I think I did all right. I love girls' emotions, don't you?
Always good to see any competitor out there, seeing the different faces and feel for the game. Spike opportunity initially blocked, but could not power through. What an effort that time for the Rebels.
You know, this has turned out to be very competitive.
Miranda Wilson that time on the spike. Faith Birch, the freshman, will serve. Birch overhand. Received by the Warriors. Action at the net. Fowler, spike. Halter receives. Birch sets up Wilson. Spike. Halter saves. Now Wilson again. That one a bump that went on the left side. The Rebels get the point. Violation against the Warriors, and a set point now for the Rebels.
John Kern is our top official up on the ladder. He's worked state championships. Very good official.
Birch ace game, Rebels. They take game 1 25-14, and we'll step out for the first time here on Indiana SRN.
(25-14) was the score of game number 1, and Roncalli playing very well. So you know, now Covenant Christian has to regroup, Jimmy, and losing that first match 25-14. Now you have to regroup. Now you got to win 3 or 4 in a row here to got to put things together.
Well, I mean, let's look at the positives of all this, Coach, and I know that you would see it on the floor as well, that Covenant Christian was dead to rights at one point in time in that game. They were down by as many as 13 at one point, and we're still in single digits at that point in time. So you're looking at a deficit where it's effectively 19-6, and you're searching, trying to find breathing room, and then you're able to rally your troops out of a timeout. After that timeout, by the way, it's actually service into the net, so you get another point against you after that. You rally the troops, you come together, and you make it a ball game where, you know, you fall by 11, sure, but there's momentum there. You don't have half of your body out into the lobby of Roncalli High School. You're still here in the woodshed trying to get something going for game number 2.
Yeah, and if you look at the coaches are together, and they're going to show all the positives they've done, and here's all the negatives you've done. You got to keep on working. As we look at the stats here, thanks to Deb Myers, Covenant Christian had 8 kills on 5 blocks and 13 unforced turnovers. That's what loses the game for you very quickly. For Covenant, for Roncalli, 2 aces, 9 kills, 1 block, 7 unforced turnovers, 13-7. Not going to win many ball games when you force the ball 13 times.
And I'd be very intrigued to see, I know we don't have the advanced metrics here at the high school level, but I'd be interested to see how many of those unforced errors to the Rebels happened during that Covenant Christian rally, because I'm sure that number was very, very small. 7's still pretty small, but I'm sure that number was significantly smaller when the Rebels had that commanding lead early on.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll work on that, Jimmy, for Thursday night.
We'll see what we can do.
Speaking of Thursday, Indiana SRN's got lots of things going on this week. High school football, 6 big ball games for you on the internet radio, 2 on the webcast, total of 8. We're always busy.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Everywhere.
volleyball, big one. Star it. Thursday night, Jimmy and I will be at Buff High School as Buff takes on Heritage Christian in high school volleyball. Number 1, Heritage Christian in 2A. I think Buff, I saw either 7 or 8 in 3A. Going to be a great battle. This is fun. That's going to be really a lot of fun. The Thursday night, check us out here on Indiana SRN.
And if you've been an Indiana SRN volleyball fan since we had our first broadcast last week, you've gotten a taste of both those teams. You know what Coach is talking about. It's going to be a fun one, probably the best broadcast to this point in time in terms of quality on the floor. Now, that being said, as Coach has mentioned, this whole conference is loaded, and we've got still 2 heavily motivated competitors. Even though the Rebels are able to win that one 25-14, Covenant Christian ready to regroup, see if they can't take game 2 in this best-of-5 set.
Well, in September, we get to see Chittard, and we also get to see Buff again. We get to see Roncalli again. So, we're unofficially the CCC conference.
Exactly.
Hey, fellas, get that done. I think that would be really kind of cool, but it's just a lot of fun watching volleyball.
Covenant Christian will have service to begin game number 2. Nodder having to dive low for that after the Rebels were able to return it. Overhand shot right in front of the net. Let's see what the Rebels answer with. That one did not make it over the net by Nodder. Rebels get the first point as they have now scored the first point of the match in each of these first 2 games. Emma Halter, the sophomore, with service. Nodder receives. Dart, spike, blocked right with 2 Rebel defenders. Dart bumps it over. Set at the net. The rally continues. Nodder to Dart, and a nice drop shot that falls. Late delayed their reaction as the Rebels didn't necessarily hear the whistle and kept playing through it, but it was dead after Dotter's spike hit the floor.
You got to like it, though, that they played through that.
Played through whistle, run through the tape. Got to love that mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Wilson sends it over for the Rebels. Now return that time by Dart. Halter there to receive the spike. Cross-court shot, hit our way, out of play. Point for the Rebels. Two, 2-1 the score. Rebels return.
Oh, my.
Setting up the spike, and that one drops again for Wilson.
That is a free throw shot that no one answered. It's now Coach Binky trying to make some adjustments there.
Overhand service. Another low drop shot. That time falls again for Covenant Christian. They had a couple of those in game 1. And they're the closest they've been in a match to this point in time at 3-2. Dart, overhand service. Halter receives. Spike at the net, misplayed just barely by Hill. Point to Covenant Christian. So this is the latest point into a match that they've been even with Roncalli. The Covenant Christians, Bella Dart serving for their first lead of this match. The official up top, I believe you said that was John Kern.
Yes, sir.
John Kern having some words with the Rebel student section. Try to keep them in line.
Yeah, I like that.
Wilson, spike cross court, good.
Wilson just has so much upper body strength. This football practice must be over because half of the student body are football players or soccer players, so more coming in. I kind of like the student bodies involved.
That's what I always enjoyed being here at Roncalli, is that you'd have kind of a regathering if you came out to support the volleyball team, because you'd have all the fall athletes that just finished up practice, like you mentioned, Coach, in here to support the ladies. Spike cross court, Halter diving for it, nice save. Geibel, and the point.
You know, we see that everywhere we go. It's at Covenant, it's at Heritage. All those kids, you go to school. You want your buddy to do well, so you want to support him. You got to like that atmosphere.
Absolutely. Sammy Moylan's service leads to an ace. It's misplayed awkwardly.
Yeah, that ball was going out, Jimmy. The rule there is that if that ball is over your head, don't reach, because most likely it's going to go out.
Moylan's service. That one out. Tried to walk the back line. Cautious that time was Kara Whitney and company, but they get the point. Back within 3.
Good job by the line judge again, precise.
Whitney will sub out. Lily Koltoff will check in and have service for her.
Big thanks to Andy Gossel, the athletic director at Covenant Christian, and Dave Black, and all the support they have given us throughout today and throughout the season.
Always good to see Coach Loud, because we did earlier today. Both those two athletic directors taking good care of us throughout our broadcasts.
One of the best.
Absolutely.
Both of them.
Couldn't think of two finer ADs in the state. Hill, service, received by the Warriors. That one high off of the top of the air conditioning unit, and they'll say that's dead.
Yeah. You know, those air conditioner units.
I always thought it was home court rules. I thought we're playing off the house rules. We gotta be ready for the ricochet.
Play the wall, play the curtain.
Apparently not. Rebels receive it. Cross court spike, down and good. Abby Johnson once again.
You know, what are they going to do when the ceiling is 32 feet up in the air?
Don't have to worry about that anymore.
Man.
It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird.
That extra storage is going to be
It's going to be weird. Think of all the half-court heaves you can get up now.
No kidding.
Don't have to worry about it being a line drive anymore. Overhand serve by Origer. Spike off the net. The Rebels look to respond. Receive, and that one hits fixtures, bounces down. Officials didn't immediately blow that one dead, so not sure if that one still would have been in play because it wasn't beneficial to Covenant Christian.
Yes. I think if it hits on your side, you're good.
It's almost like Tropicana for the Rays. We really should have had a conversation with Coach Lauk about what is in play and what's not. That's 4 hits, point to the Rebels. Because if you're at I've never been, but if you're ever watching a broadcast and they're doing baseball at the Rays Stadium, they show you if it hits a certain part of the roof, it's an out. Like there are specific house rules to that stadium. I don't know if it's like that here for volleyball. Action on the floor. Rebels able to continue the rally and get it over. Set opportunity. Spike is blocked and ricocheted. Able to power through on the spike that time.
You're a lot younger than I are, but the old Twinkie Dome in Minnesota, if it hit the speaker,
yeah,
it's an automatic foul ball. So
man,
yeah, it was bizarre.
That one is a little before me, but
well, thank you.
Same concept though.
Yeah,
just want to make you feel good.
You made me feel real good. It's Grandparents' Day. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
You weren't walking out there.
My grandkids are probably watching. That's for sure.
Overhand shot by Nodder. Halter receives it. Action in front of the nets. Powering through the spike. Good save, though, to continue the rally.
Right there at the campfire. Nice job. Oh.
And great defense by the Warriors. They match it as the soft drop shot was going to be attempted by Geibel.
They have matched the intensity this game with Roncalli.
Yep. You mentioned it, Coach. There was definitely going to be a conversation with Coach Binky and company after that first game. Clearly has paid dividends, and even after that long serve, they're still within 4, the closest they've been at this stage of a game to this point in time, with the deficit being only 4. 11-7, Rebels lead. Grace Hermer will have service. Overhand. Nodder receives it. Tough play at the net. Rebels read it and put it down.
Nice job. Nice block, but just there's nobody there to help her. Now, this is, if you're Roncalli, this is where you learn to extend. You don't want to give them the ball back.
Hermer had a moment like that in the first game, and that one tried to ride the line, could not do it, out to the Warriors.
Well, now you look at plan B.
Yep.
Guess plan A didn't
Gotta get
work.
a stop. Elizabeth Schaefer, the sophomore, overhand shot. Halter receives. Action at the net, spiked and in.
Wow. That ball's got some eyes, doesn't it,
Erica
tonight?
Eads, the sophomore.
Nice shot.
Both line judges do for sure.
Yep. Nice shot there by our camera guy, Ben Wood. Nice job, Benny.
What's the status on the Ben Wood fan club? Still
Hey,
growing?
you know, I think it is growing.
Halter, overhand shot. Nodder receives that one. Spike. Halter there again. Spike for Wilson. Nodder receives. Overhand shot just out of the reach of Halter. Diving to make that play that time, though, was Ermer. It'll continue. Set shot blocked
Nice.
initially. Here come the Warriors. Rebels block it again. Front line defense by Wilson and Hill, and their lead is 5, 13-8.
Both teams are playing very, very well on in front of the net. Nice job.
The intensity, you're right, Coach, is picked up on both sides. Emma Halter, the sophomore, her service. A jump serve overhand. Soft touch that time by Whitney. At the net, nice. Kill.
You notice they would look off ball. She was looking at the right side, went to the weak side, no one there to cover the hole. I
Nice
like
play
how
by
she
Hill.
she adjusted up in the air for that. Nice job. 15-8 Roncalli.
Halter's service continues. And that one out.
That's too many Wheaties.
Just a few. Thankfully, though, for the Rebels, still have the 6-point advantage. Trying to see if they can get another stop if you're a Covenant Christian. Bella Dart. Overhand serve. Spike powered through the block that time. Shot by Olivia Hill, the sophomore.
Hill just followed all the way through, tried to block, just couldn't get the ball back up. The key there is to try to get it up to someone else to get the ball to you. Just didn't get done that time.
Birch service. Diving low was the Warriors.
There you
They'll
go.
try their own spike
Oh.
again. The Rebels block it. Front line play by Hill. She scored the last two for Roncalli. And the lead is 8. And Covenant Christian wants a timeout. We'll take one as well. 17-9 Rebels by 8. Stay with us. You're watching high school volleyball in Indiana SRN.
If you find yourself confronted by unwanted pests in your home or office, then you need to contact the professionals at Kim Mountain Pest Control. We offer quality pest control solutions at an affordable price. We specialize in ants and termites. We're also available to handle a variety of other pests, including roaches, fleas, and flying insects, as well as rats and mice. Don't wait until pests cause severe damage to your home or property. Contact the team of experts at Kim Mountain Pest Control today.
I don't think of this as a high school weight room. It's more like a high school classroom. I'm learning how to manage my time here. I'm learning that it's important to have goals and that it takes persistence and commitment to reach them. And I'm learning that the best way to lead is by example.
Indiana High School Sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Welcome back inside the woodshed. Jimmy Cook and the coach, Keith Myers, Nodder tried to go chase down that service by the Rebels, but hit it off the ceiling. And it'll be a point to Roncalli as they're 7 points away from closing this second game out. Overhand service by Birch. Chase down the Royal to try to return it. Halter. Spike. Good dig that time by the Warriors. Chasing that down was Whitney. Try to set up Murphy, make that Wilson rather, and it's ricocheted out. Point for the Rebels.
I like how Whitney went to go get the ball, went to all the way to the stands. She could actually step in the stands to get that ball if the official thinks she can make a play.
Birch overhand, it's an ace. Awkward return attempt that time by Killian.
Platform was not secured there, just ricocheted off the arm.
Rebels 5 points away. They lead at 1-0. Birch overhand. Set shot. One bump from Wilson. And the set was just too low, but they're able to contort for the return. Whitney overhand. Johnson met at the net. Halter, good reaction though. Keep it alive. Wilson, the answer, down and in.
I tell you what, the little sophomore, number 19 in the red, she's not afraid of the ball, is she? That ball was coming pretty hard. She just protected her body.
Emma Halter all over the place for the Rebels.
Sophomore.
Warriors, one hit left to get it over, and they won't. They'll 4-hit it, and the Rebels are 3 points away from closing out game 2. Roncalli running away with this second game. Birch, jump serve, out, too far to the right.
This Roncalli Ball Club looking pretty impressive, Jimmy.
they're starting to move on all cylinders, and it is, no disrespect whatsoever to Covenant Christian, but it is tough to gauge these two teams. If Covenant Christian is still discovering themselves as a team, as an identity, and just going through early season struggles, or if the Rebels are right there with the top of the conference. Given where their record is, it's tough to tell between this one set sample size between these two teams.
And it's a conference game, so you know they're all going 100% and trying to win a conference ball game.
22-11, service to the Warriors. That one just a little too much mustard on it. Sailed it. Rebels 2 points away.
I tell you what, though, both coaches are using their bench a lot today.
Catano subbing in for the Warriors. Sammy Moylan checking in with service for the Rebels, the junior. Overhand jump serve. See what the Warriors do in response. Borum got the kill on the spike. Just a tad late that time.
Miss Bourne, nice hit. It goes over to trying to get the approval of the coaches. They shook their head. Exactly what she just went and attacked him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need to do here.
Need that mentality. Koltoff service. Halter. They'll look to set up Johnson. Sailed that one. They'll say it was ricocheted and blocked partially, so it'll be a point to the Rebels. Roncalli, set point. Olivia Hill, the sophomore, will have the service. They got it done on an ace last time for game number 1. Hill sailed it. Not that time. Halter checks back in.
That's when you're a little frustrated because you know you hit the ball where you're supposed to hit it, and it just took off on you.
A tad too much. Nodder.
Nice. Good.
Long spike and return.
Right on the line. Nice play.
The freshman, Sammy Moylan, got a little too much on her bump. And a great read.
They don't give up, do they?
Nope.
I mean, they're coming back after you.
A great read by Newport. They're back within 10. Nodder's serve, an ace. Misread that time on the far right side by Geibel.
You know, this is one of the things Coach Smart said to me is, Keith, we can't finish. Sometimes we're at 23 for such a long time. You know, keep them in the ball game.
Nodder overhand, misread that time by Moylan. And a little rally continuing by the Warriors. They're back within 8.
Might be too little too late.
Exactly. That's the metric, right? Covenant Christian digging themselves a hole, but I've seen crazier things happen before. Halter's made so many good plays so far. Slightly misreads that one. The timeout taken by the Rebels. We'll stay here. 24-17 the score. Rebels searching for set point here in game number 2. And they'll try to regroup during this timeout to see if they can get themselves right over that hump.
Talk about regrouping. Let's look at Indiana SRN schedule for Friday. Lafayette Central Catholic at Garrett. That game is a webcast game on Indiana SRN starting at 7 o'clock. Shenandoah and Heritage Christian. That also is on webcast at 7 o'clock. We have Traders Point and Covenant Christian. You talk about rival football games. Yeah. These are two 1A schools that really are like 7 miles apart. Don't like each other. This is a great game. Rematch. I think Covenant Christian probably has this game circled. Also, Beech Grove Cascade, game that you have, Mount Vernon and Richmond, and Southport and Perry Meridian, another rival. A backyard. I'll tell you what, Southport plays a backyard brawl 3 times a year. This is another one.
Yep. And Southport trying to keep the wheels rolling after their win here on this very campus last Friday night. Rebels still searching for that match point. Warriors trying to stave it off. In the net, and that'll do it. Well, Coach talked about it. There's only so much you can do when you get that far behind the 8 ball, and the Rebels close it out 25-17. They're 1 game away from closing this match out. We'll have it for you after this. You're watching high school volleyball on Indiana SRN.
Since football is a fall sport and baseball is a spring sport, theater's in the winter, and I've always enjoyed theater. I've done theater ever since I was 4 or 5 years old. And there's constant football workouts, but everything is timed and managed well that I can do my theater, but I can also do football workouts and baseball workouts, and everything is timed and placed well in a schedule that I can do multiple things at once. You know practically everyone that goes to Covenant, so your relationship with your teammates grows tremendously, not only on the field but also in the school. Coaches here really They work with you. There's a lot of individual time with you. They care about you. They are very encouraging, and they're very proud of what you do. In a Christian high school, the number one focus isn't necessarily the sport, but it's bringing glory to a God that loves you and has given you the opportunity to do the things with your abilities that He's blessed you with. We're doing it for a greater purpose, not just to win a championship or something like that. My name is Isaac Huff, and athletics is the reason why Covenant is a fit for me.
Welcome back inside the woodshed on the campus of Roncalli High School. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach, Keith Myers. The Rebels lead this Circle City Conference rivalry matchup 2-0 and are on the doorstep of clean sweeping what would be another full-scale sweep as the freshman and JV teams both took care of business for Roncalli here already. Coach, we saw Covenant in this same boat against Brebeuf last week. They did not make it to their destination. They sunk before they were able to tread any water. What do they have to do tonight for that to be a different story?
You need a quick start this game. You just need to you don't need to get ahead. You just need to stay close. I think sometimes they fell behind 6 points. They lose that game by 7. You just can't fall too far away. Stats-wise, in game number 2, aces 3 for Covenant Christian, 3 on the night. 8 kills, 15 on the night, 1 block, 6 on the night. Here's where they're really hurting, Jimmy. 21 unforced turnovers tonight so far, 8 of them in that game. For Roncalli, 1 ace, that's a total of 3 for the night. Kills are up to 25, 16 that game. 4 blocks, total of 15. And their unforced turnovers went from 7 down to 5. You don't lose many games.
Coach Barsh got to be happy about that. Like we talked about it, when Covenant Christian had that rally, I wondered how the Rebels' unforced turnovers in game number 1, if they had been early or if they had happened during that rally right there. The Rebels saw punch for punch with Covenant Christian, a lot of good rallies, but they pulled away and did it by taking care of possession and making the most of their opportunities.
The Heritage Christian Eagles beat Cecina in the first game of their best of 5 tonight, 25-11. They're up 14-7 on game number 2, thanks to Wes Snyder, one of our sponsors, College Hunks and Movers, who's watching that game for us. Thank you very much.
We look forward to seeing Heritage in 2 nights when they take on Brebeuf in what should be the marquee Circle City Conference matchup to date on the volleyball calendar.
Yeah, which will leave us, I think, 10 more games we have on webcast. So we're busy. The month of September is pretty busy. Got a couple soccer games adding on that. I know we get to watch those games on Indiana SRN, so that's a good thing.
Good to see the Indiana SRN brand across the state and bringing top-notch coverage to these high school athletes for the statewide and national global audience as well.
And if you
folks
like
and
to
family watching.
Yeah, if you'd like to be involved in that and sponsor some of those, you can email us at coach@indianasrn.org. We want to thank everybody that makes that possible. We just want to put kids on TV and on radio because they deserve it. We just want to watch them play, and if you want to help us, please do.
Grace Ermer will start with service, and the Rebels for the first time tonight fail to score first.
And
Warriors have their first lead. I don't know if that's the way they wanted to get it, but they'll take it nonetheless. Service by Schaefer. Rebels return it into the net. So as quick as it was there, it's quickly back, and we're tied at 1.
Both coaches sitting down. That's kind of a rarity, isn't it?
Yeah. Less animation in game 3. I mean, I guess maybe I get it for Coach Marsh. Players are starting to roll early, but for Covenant Christian, maybe it's, I don't know. Coach, I've tried not to study the mannerisms too much because I've never been in the chair. You know, you've been there. You get it.
It's difficult when you're playing really, really well and you're struggling a little bit tonight. Coach Beakey now trying to make some adjustments, and let's see what happens.
Newport service returned by the Rebels. Spike is blocked at the net. They'll try again. Wilson powered through that one. No, it's saved. But it'll be a net violation.
You know, if you're Roncalli, though, what you want to do is now, Coach Mart's now standing up. If you're Roncalli, what you want to do is you have to tell your kids in the huddle, you're up 2-0. Do not give them any hope. You
Nope.
need to continue to, and you need to finish strong here.
Close this thing out. Close up the woodshed early. The message by Coach Marsh, we can only assume. Backward set, overhand shot. Now here come the Warriors. Whitney into the net. Rebel defense was there. Credit on the defense there for Wilson and Birch. They've had a lot of front line action for the Rebels in this one. Overhand service.
Oh, nice way to bring that ball back.
And it'll continue. Spike down and drops. Abby Johnson once again. She's had at least one good spike in each of these 3 games.
Brings that lead to 4-2.
Service will continue for the sophomore Olivia Hill. And a violation against the Rebels. Were they out of rotation?
Oh, yeah, they're out of rotation. They were overlapping. Again, volleyball rule is so, I mean, you could be back to back, but if you're one step ahead of her, then you're ahead of her, so that you can't be there. I mean, it's for an umpire to make that call. I think it's an art to know the game that well.
And no disagreement there from Coach Marsh.
No,
she pointed out she knew exactly where it was. Action at the net, partially blocked on the backside of, it hit the forearm of Origer. And they'll say it's a violation back to the Warriors.
They're calling that a back row attack because, again, 3 lined up in the back row. She can't go and attack.
Dart, overhand service. Halter bounced off the ceiling. They'll say play on. Wilson bumps it over. See, there's certain house rules. There's still, we didn't know. Whitney made
she was in the net.
Contact with the net. And it's action back to the Rebels.
Now, with the new gymnasium that Roncalli has built, it will hold a lot more too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Hold
about
about
size increase.
About 5,000.
I don't know the official metric on what it is. I'm not. I
know this place was rocking before.
Mm-hmm. I know how hard it was to get in here for a sellout, though. So at the very least, hopefully that's easier for students and fans alike.
Well, you never had a problem because you were always an
No, I never did. You're right.
Yeah, there you go.
And I was able to help people get in too.
Now you got an Indiana SRN press pass.
Exactly.
You can get it anywhere you want.
Fresh off the presses. Nodder, the bump. A move action and a spike, and they'll say a violation again that time. Rebels, the beneficiaries.
Hitting the antenna.
Got to look out for those. Roeder. Overhand and net. She knew it right when she hit it. Not unlike a free throw shooter when you know it's going to be off right when it leaves your hands. You can tell that Roeder knew right when she made contact that one was going to the net. 7-5, Rebel lead is 2. Service for Koltoff. Rebels had to dig deep for that one. Halter sets it over. Now bumped back by the Warriors. Spike opportunity, Johnson. That one good for her. A violation on the Warriors.
Another unforced turnover by the Warriors.
And the lead now 3, 8-5. Service will belong to the junior, Simi Moylan. Moylan overhand shot, wide.
Oh.
They'll say wide. Looked like from our vantage point, she might have walked to the tightrope, but
that might have hit the line, but he was right there, so I'm leaving him there.
You've been proud of the line judges so far, so
yeah.
Rightfully so to stick with them. That shot in front of the net.
That's a hard job.
Tough to adjust that time.
You know, because you're picked by the home team, so you're probably a home team fan, and you just need to stay neutral, and that's pretty tough to do.
Yeah, I never wanted any part of that. I wanted to be able to be loyal, not have to be at the bounds of objectivity.
8-8. How about this?
The Warriors, the beneficiaries of out of bounds. The service will continue for Nodder. Rebels looking to answer. They'll bump it up, and that one will get over the net. Setting up a spike. Rebel defense blocked.
Creep right back into the net.
And that one into the net. It rolled on the net for a second, then came back, and That one in the net by Schaefer, so it'll be 9-8.
We call that dancing on a tightrope.
And something has upset John Kern. He mentioned something to the Warriors players. Couldn't see it from our vantage point. Halter's service. Rebels in front of the net. Spiked and makes contact with the net and rolls home. Had to power through on the spike and just got it over the top of the net. Rebel lead is 2, 10-8. Halter. Out. Tried to ride the far right side on the cross-court serve, but couldn't. Warriors back within 1. Bella Dart subs back in. Jana Catano takes a seat. Borum, service. Bumped over that time by Murphy. Soft set shot. Out of bounds. And we're tied at 10.
Covenant Christian has played very, very hard this game and playing very, very well, Jimmy. The consistent play, and that's what you're looking at. You're trying to build on things so the next time out you know what you can do. I said that and they hit it in the net.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of a microcosm though for Covenant Christian because there are plenty of things to work on. There's a team with ever-changing parts that's trying to focus on who they are early in the season, and credit to them though. This is the furthest into a game that they've been either tied or within a point. 11-10 Rebels. Service to Grace Irmer, the senior. Overhand. Nada receives. Spike opportunity, and it falls in. Nice shot that time by Newport. And that went into the net. Covenant Christian has had opportunities but unable to fully take advantage of momentum. Rebel lead is still 1, 12-11. Elizabeth Orger, the senior. Overhand serve. Whitney. Halter receives. Cross court, powering through and getting the point is Elizabeth Orger.
Covenant Christian's next game Wednesday against Western Boone. That game is at Western Boone. And then Saturday they travel to Bloomington for the Bloomington South Invitational with Browntown Central in that is ranked. And then Tuesday, the 3rd of September, Jimmy and I will be at Heritage Christian as they play Heritage Christian on the webcast.
I will say this much, as that point on the kill, good for the Warriors. They're back within 1. Plenty of road trips there for Covenant Christian. But the growth needs to be there, or at the very least, as you'd like to put it, Coach, a lot of Wheaties need to be taken by the time they face off against Heritage Christian.
We'll have the Roncalli schedule for you in just a second.
All knotted up at 13. We mentioned the Rebels 2-3 on the season so far, trying to improve to 500. Overhand serve by Newport, and it leads to a point. Halter could not chase that one down. And a timeout taken by the Rebels. They don't like where things are going here in Game 3. We'll step out. Rebels 13, Covenant Christian 14, Rebels 13. You're watching Volleyball on Indiana SRN.
Your home and office make up a big part of your world. Sometimes trying to manage it all on your own can make you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you need a strong back or two to come to your rescue and haul your stress away. You need the College Hunks. Whether it's time to clear some space for new memories, to reinvent the room around you, or to simply pack up and move into a fresh new beginning, you can count on the Hunks to bear your burden so you don't have to. Let us move you today.
Piper Group Warehouse has a strong commitment to their clients as their logistics provider. If you would like to discover how you can improve your service levels while lowering your overall cost, Piper Logistics Group can help. Call Greg Piper today at 317-396-3916. Piper Logistics Group.
Back inside the woodshed on the campus of Roncalli High School. Rebels returning the serve from Newport. They trail by 1, the latest into a game they've trailed. And that ends there as the block that time by the tandem of Hill and I believe Orger.
Roncalli schedule, Jimmy. Thursday they play Columbus North. Saturday they play in the Yorktown Invitational. I got a feeling that's kind of easy, right? Yorktown's a pushover, right? And then next Tuesday, the rival against Cathedral.
I mean, Coach, the Rebel message was always there's no pushovers on the schedule. You got to take it one game at a time. We let the pundits do that kind of talking.
Well, let me tell you, Yorktown has won the state several years in a row. I don't think there'll be any pushover, let me tell you. If Newcastle is in that invitation, it will be a tough one.
One thing the Rebels always do, got to keep that schedule tough. Play at the net that time by Johnson and Eads. Rebels lead by 3. They've outscored the Warriors 6-3 since it was all tied up at 11. Overhand serve received by the Warriors. Action in front of the net. Powering through at that time was Dart. Nice spike. 2-point game. Borum checking in for the Warriors. Service to Dart after her spike. Ermer plays it. Set up Johnson. Nice soft touch, but a good play by Nodder. And unable to keep the rally alive that time was Wilson.
Nodder kept that ball alive. That's exactly what you want to do. And we said it time after time after time. Covenant Christian does not quit. They're playing very, very well. Still in this game, 17-16.
Dart overhand serve. Rebel action to Johnson. Spiked. Dug in deep. Action at the net. And a violation against the Warriors. It'll be point to Roncalli, I believe.
Yeah, that was a 2-touch. She felt like someone blocked that ball, but that ball just hit the top of the tape and came back. That was a double hit. Good call. But I tell you, John Kern is a very good official. He's not going to let anything slide down.
Done a great job all night. Overhand service for Roeder. Nodder receives. Rebels by 2. Halter. Johnson. Another good dig. They've got her last 2 spikes and continue the rally. Short bump at the net. Try a spike of their own. Powering through and scoring it was Borum.
That was a change of pace, that bump. Usually that's a set, and you want to go attack the net. And Roncalli did not respond very well to that. Nice job by Covenant Christian.
They're within 1. Koltoff, her service. Rebels return it right in front of the net.
2-touch. How about this?
We're tied at 18.
Now if you're a Covenant Christian, you finish.
Yep. Can't let it slip away. Koltoff into the net. Yep, that sounds about right.
I mean, you climbed that hill. You played really, really well. And then you have that unforced turnover here. Now if you're Roncalli, if you're smart, now you go, you jump on it
back,
right away. Yep.
Service will be to the junior, Sammy Moylan. Overhand action. Warriors try to respond. Soft shot.
Good.
Moylan reads it. It's Spike with authority. Found open space. Did Birch, and she puts it home.
Bourne did the right thing, but again, we talked about this all the time, Jimmy. You got to finish with the angle. No one finished that weak side.
Communication could have helped. Rebels lead by 2. Halter a play on it, and miscommunication by the Rebels. Covenant Christian hanging around, but that time, an unforced error. The Rebels keeping a minute.
This is the girl you want there, ready for you, Nodder.
Nodder, overhand service. And Rebels might have been out of position again.
Again, you got to be either a step back or a step up. It can't be straightforward.
Nodder taking that angled run at it.
Nice.
Set. Wilson.
Nice job by Bourne. Nice. Oh!
Good dive, but it's out.
How about Bourne there? played the net well. Good job.
Good play for Sanaya Borum. And the first lead this late into a ball game by the Warriors is quickly ended on a spike over the line. Can only ask so much of Nodder. She had a nice rally to continue her service, but we're back tied at 21.
You see the enthusiasm, though, in Covenant Christian. You got to love that as a coach.
Got to love them seeing the moment and taking advantage of an opportunity. Halter, overhand, received. Warriors try again to answer. Spike, blocked, score for the Rebels. The front line effort that time by Hill. And a timeout taken by the Warriors. We will take one as well. Roncalli 22, Covenant Christian 21. You're watching high school volleyball on Indiana SRN.
Today's games brought to you by Shin Technology Service Corporation. Technology is about humans and not about machines. Dave and his crew has provided 27 years of software needs. Give them a call. Shin Technology Service Corporation. You may reach him by phone at 317-545-3650 or shintechnology.com. For more information, contact Dave, 317-545-3650.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Well, back inside the woodshed of Roncalli High School, Covenant Christian scoring with a play on the net. They've tied it up at 22, and now they take the lead at 23 on the ace. An awkward return that time by Roeder, and Covenant Christian 2 points away from stealing a game, and the Rebels want a timeout. We'll stay here. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach, Keith Myers. Coach, you look at these three games, 25-14 Rebels, 25-17 Rebels. Covenant Christian hanging around late in games in games 1 and 2, but they fell behind early and didn't have anything to say about it after that. This game, they hung with them. We had ties at 8-8. We had ties at 11-11. We had ties even as recently as 22-22. Yep. Covenant Christian hanging on to a 1-point lead. How do you close it out and force a game 4?
Now, if you're Covenant Christian, you just have to put the ball in play. Let them make the mistake. So force them to bring it back over. This is an important serve right here. You get this serve in, you're in the driver's seat.
Service for Borum. Rebels receive it. Halter bumps it up once. Overhand set. Warriors look to respond. That's where they've been most effective in this game. Action at the net. They'll set up Wilson. Soft touch. Dart. Is she too far in the net? The Rebels got to get it over. Wilson.
Go back to Dorn.
Dart. Halter. Nice play.
Nice play.
They'll go back to Wilson. Ricochet. Warriors keep it alive. Good rally by both teams. Wilson to put it away. Ricochet through the net. Kept alive. Halter there to keep it at bay, though. Good adjustment in midair that time. Spike blocked and scored by the Rebels.
I tell you what,
rally.
That's a great rally. That's a tough one to lose. But you know what? Now you're tied. So you're still in it. Bourne steps out. Cooper comes in. And now they're asking Bourne to come back because he did not think she checked in as quickly.
Borum needed to wait a second, says the official, Scott Stone. And so the Rebels now in control of their own destiny. Grace Ermer, the senior, the service. They're 2 points away.
Big point here.
Nodder looks for Dart. Now they'll adjust, and it drops. I'll say point for the Rebels.
Oh, they said that ball was still alive, Jimmy. They felt like that ball was still alive, and he did not blow that ball dead.
And the Rebels now serving for match point, much to the dismay of Nodder and the Warriors.
I even think Coach thought that ball was dead.
Ermer serving for the match all of a sudden. Warriors trying to regain their composure. Dart at the net. Halter receives. Spike. Rebels win it. 25-23. In controversial fashion, at least on the Covenant Christian side.
Wow.
What a call.
That's huge because, again, we didn't have play tonight, but it looked like both teams quit. So Roncalli just kept on playing. I thought that was the fourth hit. He said it was the third hit. You got to play through that. That's tough. Sometimes you get those, sometimes you don't. As the season we're on, you will get a break. Roncalli got a break that night.
You've seen a lot of volleyball, Coach.
Yes.
Have you seen something like that at the end of a game?
Yes. Last year in the city tournament, Chittard and Covenant Christian, and it went toward Covenant Christian. So it does happen. That's why it's official. So, you know what? That's human error is part of the game. So what a game, though, for Covenant Christian. They can build on this. This game right here, 25-23, you can build on this because Roncalli's going to make some noise in 4A.
We mentioned we weren't at any of Covenant Christian's games over the weekend, so we don't know where the momentum was. But after a game like this, there's momentum there. You're right, Coach. There's opportunities for you to grow, for you to try to continue to build within yourself this early in the season. Plenty of time and opportunities, but not today as the Rebels close this one out, complete the sweep, 25-23.
Let's look at the final stats before we get out of here. The aces, 5 aces for the total night for Covenant Christian, 25 kills, 10 blocks, 31 unforced turnovers. You got to work on that, Jimmy. For Roncalli, 3 aces, 39 kills, excellent at the net, 12 blocks, and 22 unforced turnovers. Both teams, I think, really need to work on that. But Roncalli now is now 3-4. And Covenant Christian now 1-5. Both of them play Thursday, and both of them play this weekend.
Rebels improved to 500, as Coach mentions there. Meanwhile, Covenant Christian falls to 1-5. So a lot of improvement left to do for the Warriors, but plenty of growing chances for them. And for the Rebels, finally at 500, they have an opportunity to continue their season, build on that, and continue through what is shaping up to be a very fun and very thrilling Circle City Conference season all year long here on Indiana SRN.
And we want to thank you very much for joining us tonight on Indiana SRN. Don't forget, we'll be back Thursday night at Babuff, 6 o'clock start. Babuff taking on Heritage Christian. And in football, check out Football Weekly. Check out our website, indianasrn.org. And if you'd like to help us out sponsoring, we would really love your support. There's a donate button there if you'd like to help us, indianasrn.org, or email me at coach@indianasrn.org.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go home.
Me too. For Coach Myers, I'm Jimmy Cook. Again, our final Rebels take care of business, winning in 3 games to improve to 500 on the season. Until we talk to you next time, so long, everybody.